With 12 games to go, not only have we now got a very good chance we're going to be in the playoffs, we're also in an automatic promotion hunt. What is this season? Hey guys, and welcome to episode 18 of my Bristol Rovers FM20 playthrough. My name is James, and on today's episode, a massive away game against Crystal Palace, and then we have QPR at the Memorial Stadium. Now, since you're last with me, I have gone on a little bit further than I had planned in the previous episode. We went on a little bit of a run, and I kind of wanted to see where it led. So the last episode we had was the Bristol City and Leicester games. I had planned to maybe come back near the end of the transfer window, but in all honesty, I got really excited and just carried on running with it. We followed up the last episode, unfortunately, with a bit of dodgy form. A draw away at Stoke, which isn't too bad. We did get hammered 3-0 away at Birmingham, which was not so good. But we did manage to get a massive 2-2 draw against Brentford at the Memorial Stadium. We then followed that up with a run of 5 wins against Cardiff, Reading, Peterborough, Middlesbrough and Millwall. Sadly, as good as it was going, we couldn't carry it on, and we did inexplicably lose against mid-table Sheffield Wednesday 4-1 away. I say inexplicably. You can tell by the team there that we had a few injuries and a few suspensions. We had Davis and Harries at centre back, who we haven't played pretty much all season, as both our first string centre backs were both suspended at the same time and will be for, I believe, at least this one game. One of them, I believe, is actually suspended for both games today. And John Joe was coming back from injury, so I've been playing Hall at right back because since the last episode, Mark Little's also had a little bit of a strop and wanted to go out on loan. Then we didn't get that because no one was interested. He now wants to leave, so he's now on the transfer list and will be going at the earliest opportunity. Agogo was also out injured, so Ollie Clark dropped back into the defensive midfielder spot. And then we had Matthews, and mixture of Matthews and a couple of the others coming in for that Mazzala role. So at the very minimum, we had 4 first-teamers out for that game, and with a brand new centre-back pairing, it's not massively surprising that we fell apart. However, even with that, this is the championship table as it stands currently. We are not only 9 points clear of 7th place West Brom, we are only 6 points off automatic promotion. West Ham are gone. They've travelled off into the distance. They're riding off into the sunset already. They're basically promoted at this point. There's very, very little chance of anyone actually catching them. And the closest person could do that would be Crystal Palace anyway. But with the away game against Crystal Palace today, if we can get a win, I mean, I'm asking for a lot here, and you know what? At the end of the day, I can't ask for any more than the team's given this season. But if we can get a win from them today, that drops to 3 points. It's pretty close in there as well. We're only 1 point off of Brentford in 3rd. There's a small chance we could do this with 12 games to go. Especially if we can get a little string of wins together like we did prior to the Sheffield Wednesday game. But at the very minimum, achieving playoffs is absolutely incredible, and I solemnly believe that is going to be the minimum we'll get this season. Although I say that now watch us go on a 12-game losing streak. But among many things, one of the key reasons for us this season, and it was the key reason we got promoted last season, Johnson Clark-Harris has become an all-round striker at this point. He's not, I don't think he can play, no, he can't play complete forward, but he's not scored as many goals so far this season, although he's only really sort of just over halfway there. But after 25 games, 14 goals, 8 assists, 3 player of the matches, and a 7.31 average rating. If we take into account the fact that he was injured for almost 2 months at the start of the season, I just can imagine what he'd have been like if he'd been available for the entire season. If he carries on playing the way we're playing, exciting things could happen. So apart from that, we didn't bring anybody else in the transfer window. Nobody of significance left. Let's have a look and see on the transfers. So you knew about Geordie already. Liam Armstrong wanted to go out on loan for some first-team football, so I've let him go out. We've got a couple of backups as well, goalkeeping-wise, so that's not really an issue. And as you knew from the last episode, Talbot and Smythe were the 2 players that came in. However, we have had some staff movement. One in particular, Kevin Mayer, formerly my assistant manager, who decided for some reason that rather than being the assistant manager of a manager who is in a playoff chasing championship side, he'd rather go to be assistant manager at League 2 Plymouth. Nothing against Plymouth at all, but to me that just doesn't make any sense. So he's gone. He was replaced, however, very quickly by Pep Clotet. I'll just call him Pep. So he is actually a significant upgrade on our previous assistant manager. He's come in. He is on a significant more than our previous assistant manager was. But I do believe he's going to be a far better right-hand man for me than Mayer was, as good as Mayer has been over the last kind of season and a half. Cool, right, so let's get into the match. So, Crystal Palace away is the first match of today's episode. And as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, Kilgore is out suspended. He's out for this match, so he'll be back for the QPR game. And Long, I believe, he's only suspended for this match as well. But I believe he did have a 3-match ban. Fantastic. So they're both back for the QPR game. And as I mentioned as well, Agogo is out injured. He's back in 4 days, so he'll also be back for the QPR game. We've got Thomas out as well, although he's only the backup striker, but his season's done. He's currently receiving treatment for a broken foot, so he's done for the season. And something I didn't mention earlier, Lumeka. Lumeka was also out. He was suspended for the previous episode, and I dropped him from the cup match. Because of his suspension. He then received an injury not long after that, so has been out pretty much ever since. He's not actually played since then. And with Barrett having been out injured as well, he's only just come back from injury as well. We did have Janelli and Alabiosu playing in replacement of Barrett. So the team for today's first match is Jacola in goal, a back four of Holmes, Dennis, Harries, Davis and Odebayo, with Clark, Matthews and Upson in midfield, with Janelli, Alabiosu and Clark Harris up front. I have just noticed though that Alabiosu is absolutely hanging. I really didn't check their conditioning before playing this. Barrett is going to come in straight away actually. Janelli's going to flip over to that right hand side. How's everyone else looking? Odebayo's struggling, but I really do want him on. I can bring on Hall later on in the game, but I want my best starting 11 to begin with. Cool, right, let's get into the game. I am so nervous right now. It's ridiculous because I know it's going to get worse as the season gets on. And I know really there's no expectation for us to be here. Even if we lost the rest of the season and we dropped out of the playoffs, it would still be a fantastic season. But now we're here. Now we're here and we've proven that we can beat some of these teams. Oh, I want to stay there so badly. Right, highlight straight away. 2.5 minutes. Free kick to Crystal Palace. Round the wall and it is in. Milivojevic scores from the free kick. I mean, there's nothing that can be done about that, really. Chipped it straight over, right in the top corner. Even if Jacola had been on that side, he would have not got anywhere near that. So we can't blame him for that. But Crystal Palace do get off to the best start they could have wanted. And we're definitely climbing uphill from here. But we do have a throw in here with Holmes Dennis to Clark Harris, then back to Holmes Dennis. Big ball into the centre. What a goal by Holmes Dennis! He must have seen the goalkeeper off his line there. That has got to be that's got to be going down as one of the goals of the season. I mean, do you class that as a cross? Was that a cross or was that a shot? But he received it back from Clark Harris. I thought he's putting it into the centre. There's no way that there's no one in there to collect it. What a goal from Holmes Dennis. Well, that's a reply and a half, that is. And we have another highlight here. Holmes Dennis with a throw in again to Barrett, to Holmes Dennis. Can he do the same thing again? This time it's across in the centre, but no one's there. Upson, Odebayo to bring the ball back into Clark. Clark has a shot! What is going on? It's like they're trying to outdo each other. in between the two episodes, Upson scored another worldie, and I think Ollie Clark had another one. It's a case of anything you can do, I can do better in this game at the moment. And do you know what? If they're going to play that for the rest of the game, I'm happy with that. But on 24 minutes, it is Bristol Rovers 2, Crystal Palace 1. Two absolute goal of the season contenders. We have another highlight here. Crystal Palace with the goal kick. Looking to play out from defence. MacArthur with the ball. Big ball forward. But Holmes Dennis manages to collect it. And we look to bring it forward. Harries to Matthews. Nice back heel to Clark. Then forward to Upson. Looking to build something here to Barrett. Got Holmes Dennis on the overlap, but he can't find him, so he puts back to Harries. Don't script there, Harries. Don't mess it up from there. AU runs forward with the ball. Looks to bring it forward. Tries to chip it in. But I believe it was Davis that was closing him down there, and he can only put it into Jacola's arms. We do have a free kick here with Davis to Odebayo. Big ball forward. But Crystal Palace managed to bring the ball forward here with Zaha. Back out to Schlupp. Schlupp brings it into the penalty area. Loads of space. I don't know what happened there. Jacola fumbled the ball. But we managed to clear it out for a throw-in. What a game this has been so far. Half-time, 2-1 up. I mean, a great result coming in at half-time. But a little bit more sketchy than it really should have been in that first half. I'm going to say don't get complacent. The assistant manager says tell them they did well. But I'm going to say don't get complacent because they did do really well. Especially Ollie Clark, who is being a rock in that defensive midfield role. But Crystal Palace do have a throw in here, but we managed to win it and clear it, but only as far as Crystal Palace defenders who look to bring it forward again. And we are closing them down really well though, especially in that central midfield spot, as I mentioned before with Ollie Clark. But Zaha has the ball in the penalty area here. Brilliant tackle by Odebayo, but the ball comes back into Schlupp. What was going on there? It went straight under Jacola, but luckily we managed to clear the ball out for another throw-in. Jacola is having a dodgy game, he really is. But the throw-in managed to clear. But Crystal Palace looks to bring it back in again. Zaha in the centre, in space, but he can only tap it into Jacola's hands, and Jacola this time manages to clutch it close to him. Townsend with a corner into the centre. And I'm not sure who that was. Milivojevic. Millie. Or is it Sacco? Sacco at the back post manages just to nod it in. Yeah, came running in. Sacco completely unmarked, no one tracking the run, and managed to put it in to draw Crystal Palace level. Right, I think 65 minutes on the clock. It's about to make some substitutions, but we have got Townsend has got a free kick into Edmondson, and that's another set piece that we've conceded from. That is really poor. I think, yeah, we're going to make a couple of substitutions. For as good as first half as we had, I mean, Odebayo is really struggling. We'll take him off. Janelli is also struggling as well. Let's bring on Alabiosu. So we've got a brand new right-hand side there. This second half, they've not played very well at all. For how well we played in the first half, 2 set pieces. I can understand maybe Crystal Palace scoring from open play, but 2 set pieces is just disappointing to concede from. That is basic stuff that we should be practicing on the training ground. But Crystal Palace have the ball here, looking to try and extend their lead. MacArthur with the ball, big ball out wide to Radiowold, who brings the ball back in to Mayer. Puts the ball out wide to AU. Then Van Arnhold there. What a goal that was. AU... Presumably Van Arnhold called for it because AU sort of knocked it back to him as he was coming into the penalty area, smashes it into the top left. I think that is game over for us, I think. We'll ask for some passion for the last 10 minutes. Let's go attacking, why not? We do have a highlight here, though. Clark Harris with the ball out wide. Matthews collects it to Clark, to Harries. Could really do with a worldie from outside the box from Upson right now. But big ball in front of Biosu. Clark Harris with the ball. But he can only palm it in. You can only pass it into the keeper's hands. Let's make another substitution. Clark Harris is having an awful game. I wish I'd noticed that before now, in all honesty. But we'll bring Phillips on and see what he can do. Can we make any more shouts? I want to see if we can try and get them creative. I don't think it makes a massive difference now. We're not going to do anything in the last couple of minutes. And that is it, I think. Yeah, that is it. 4-2. It seems it's been the story of this save so far. Matches that we should have lost, and we have lost. but it's the manner in which we've lost. Now, I know we lost by 2 goals, but just the 2 goals we conceded in between the 2 set pieces, disappointing. We've been poor at set pieces most of this season. We've conceded too many goals from set pieces. I don't want to be harsh on them because we expected to lose that game, and I think that pretty much puts Crystal Palace in the driving seat for second place with 7 points now between them and Brentford. And it pretty much puts us out of the running, I think, at this point, being 9 points now behind them. Right, I'll come back if there's any news in between. However, other than that, we're going to jump forward to the QPR game. Sometimes this game knows how just to warm you in the right places. We may have lost, but I'm happy with that headline. Youthful Bristol Rovers is definitely what I want to be trying to build at this club. That's a little bit of a blow. We may have to try and draft Little back into the squad again. Out for 3 weeks. He'll be back by April, but the next 4 or 5 games, Hall is definitely going to have to step up. It gives him a little bit. I suppose it gives him a nice bit of run in the league. But when there's this much pressure on the back end of this season, it's not something you want to put on somebody who is only, I believe, 17 years old. I mean, no. Here we are for the second match of today's episode, home against QPR. Now, I expect this to be a slightly easier affair than the Crystal Palace game, but definitely not going to get complacent against them. This is definitely a team that we need to be beating, and beating quite heavily, really, based on the form we've had in the last couple of months. I've made a couple of adjustments for today's game. We had a couple of tired legs, and I think giving a few other people chances in games like this is going to be quite nice as well. So we've got Jacola in goal. About 4, Holmes Dennis, Long and Kilgore are back in the side, with Hall at right back, with Adebayo being out injured for the next 3 weeks. We have Clark, Adebayo and Budd are going to be the new central midfield pairing. Upson was a little bit tired after the last game, so I've left him on the bench. And I thought I'd give Adebayo a couple of games, see how he gets on. Matthews has kind of fallen off the pace slightly in the last couple of games, so I thought I'd give somebody else a chance. And then we have Janelli, Alabiosu out on the right-hand side, and Clark Harris up front. Now, the reason why I've made this change is because Barrett, I have noticed, has not played well for a long time. He has had a fairly poor season, being the fact that he's had 32 games that he's played. And the main reason is he is still annoyed that he wants a new contract, even though he has agreed one for May. Now, I didn't realise at the time when I agreed to this, because I didn't want it to be part of the current crop of contracts. So I wanted it to happen in the summer. I didn't realise that the system wouldn't recognise it as him not having signed a contract. I assumed it would mean that he was happy again. And it seems to be until that contract gets signed, he's going to continue being a miserable sod and is not playing very well. So he drops down to the bench and Janelli can play his spot over on that left-hand side. Right, so let's get into this game. Come on, we need a much better performance against Crystal Palace. If we can get a win against QPR here, the Crystal Palace game meant less and less, really, but does cement our position in the playoff picture. 4 minutes on the clock. Janelli with the free kick. Ball into the centre to Kilgore, but Kilgore just puts it over the bar. Now, when we have played these youngsters in some of the cup matches, they've played really well, and so I'm quite excited to see what they can do in the league. Half hour on the clock. Oh, not another highlight yet, but we have been dominating. QPR have not even had a shot yet in this game, which, cue them winning 1-0 by the end of this match. Half time 0-0. Not a single highlight from QPR. We've had the one, which was Kilgore put it over. I think we can do better in that second half. With all the possession we've got, we can surely take advantage of this. We need to be winning quite comfortably in this game for how poor QPR have played so far in this match. Right, 75 minutes on the clock. We're going to need to do something about this because we've not had a single highlight. Clark Harris, I've had enough of you. Come off. That's what I get for praising you at the start of the game, start of the episode. Adebayo. Do you know what? I'm going to make a triple substitution because that's, what all the best managers do. Let's play. Let's go to very attacking and let's say get creative. Here we are. We have a highlight. Upson with the corner into the centre. But Giannelli managed to collect it. That is more like it. Giannelli with his 11th goal of the season. He has played really, really well. I am actually considering seeing if we can try and buy him in the summer. I'm not sure what his contract situation is with his parent club, but he has played so well this season. He's been one of our best wingers, and that is just another example. On the, let's call it half volley, and into the bottom right. It's only 1-0, but you know what? A win is a win at the end of the day. But we have 4 minutes of added time. QPR with a corner into the centre. That is disgusting. That is what I get for opening my mouth, but that is disgusting. They have had 2 shots on target the entire game, and they are going to get away with a point in this game. That is horrid. I mean, that is disgusting. I have no idea what to say about that. We dominated that game, and we've conceded from another set piece. Another set piece has undone us. Right, I know what we're going to be training all week next week. So we're back where we started. We're in 5th, and I think that all but relegates us to being in the playoffs. I say relegates us to being in the playoffs, but I think the pipe dream of automatic promotion has definitely ended. If we're going to do the miraculous and do a back-to-back promotion, we're going to have to do it the hard way. Right, so depending on how the next couple of games go, if we look like we're going to confirm ourselves as playoffs, then I'll come back for that for those matches where we hopefully will be able to mathematically do it. If not, I will run through until these last 4 games of the season, and I think we'll play back-to-back episodes of Sheffield United and Charlton, and then Huddersfield, West Ham. West Ham will hopefully have been crowned champions by then, and it will mean absolutely nothing to them. Fingers crossed we'll be playing the West Ham under-23s. So if you enjoyed that, please give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit that bell icon to be notified of brand new FM20 videos from me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5 PM. And thank you very much for watching.